former Lagos State governorship candidate, Rhodes-Vivour, is calling on the federal government to license firearms for citizens to defend themselves against terrorists due to the government's failure to secure the country. Speaking on live television, the politician cited recent abduction in Kwara and Ogun states over the weekend, saying that insecurity has spread beyond the north to other parts of the country, adding that it would be wicked to ask citizens to remain helpless when the government has failed to provide security. By calling for citizens to be licensed to carry firearms has been a long-time debate. Some say it's a radical proposal that will either be seen as a desperate cry for self-preservation or a recipe for total chaos. I mean, this is not the first time that we've, seen this debate online or even Nigerians talking. I believe there was even a bill by Ned Nwoko that, he tried to push. But, you can't really blame anyone calling to protect themselves at this point. We have even seen videos, if you can pull some of those videos, of priests carrying guns that have been trending on social media all along. Your thoughts on the story? These are the videos we're seeing of these priests, even in church, carrying guns.
We find ourselves in such a complex place,
yes.
OG, because what do you expect people to do in this type of climate? Is that the natural human instinct of self-preservation kicks in and people want to resort to self-help. But unfortunately, when it comes to self-help, we've seen time and time again that it generally does lead to a state of anarchy. But in this moment, we say, okay, the state is not doing its duty. So the people are saying, well, we can't just be exposed. So the state has to step in. This is what we've been calling for consistently, and we can't relent in continuing to call for that. Because let's remind ourselves that one of the reasons why we are in this predicament is because there's just a brazen institutional weakness.
Yes.
Now, how many people actually update their driver's license regularly? And how often is it checked? And how authentic is it? If you look across the country, driver's license, right? Now, how are we now going to regulate gun licenses? And how are we going to ensure that, people truly are abiding by it? How are we going to bypass the corruption? So institutions first have to be addressed. And this is, I'm just consistent about this point, that the real fundamental issues, we can't take Panadol for this kind of ailment, unfortunately. So yes, if all things are equal, I think it's fair to say people should have the right to carry firearms. But unfortunately, all things are not equal, and we don't want a situation where the same people that we are accusing of orchestrating and being perpetuators of these things, their arguments that these people are funded by powerful people. Are we sure we want those same powerful people to now have legal licenses to also access firearms? Because remember, as much as innocent citizens will have access to it, also those with malicious intent will also have access. So many things. Are we going to do mental health checks before granting licenses? This gun licenses, it's a huge topic,
it is.
On its own.
It's such a huge topic that I wish that everyone can...
They are behaving like they are in a psychotic state.
They don't have...
If you give them guns freely, then you'll be opening the gate to hell.
But you know that most of the
gun control.
What about that most of the gun violence that have been perpetrated by people in America, people that have been unwell. A lot of them are not normal. Those that the gun violence.
That we have many people who are unwell walking on the streets of Lagos and Nigeria that are not sure.
Right.
Didn't you say that even our political leaders should all undergo psychological tests? Because we are not yet mature for that. Please, for those who are advocating for that, it's an abdication of responsibility of the government to do what they're supposed to do. Rather than emphasize licensing guns, let's use that same energy to push for the government to do what they're supposed to do.
Yes,
we can
but also the conversation about even these terrorists that have access, the proliferation of arms, firearms is the biggest problem that we have in Nigeria. How are these people able to have their hands on the guns and we're not able to? Yes, absolutely. Well, we'll continue on the conversation.
Even without guns,
so you don't own a gun? You don't own a firearm?
What will
I thought you had one.
I'm covered by the blood of